Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Essie Desert Mirage collection. This is kind of like their January collection. I feel like every year one of the brands does like kind of a strange, doesn't really fit into a season January collection. I believe that's what this one is from Essie. There are 3 shimmers here and 3 creams. I got these off of Amazon. They were kind of off and on, sold out. I ended up signing up for alerts when they came back in stock and ordering them like one at a time as they came back in stock because they were never all there at once. A little beware if you are going to order these from Amazon. If they come directly from Amazon and not a third-party seller, they do come thrown into a sizable box with just an air pillow. Mine, because I had to order them all separately, the 6 polishes shipped in 5 packages. So I got lucky there. I didn't really have any broken polishes because they were pretty much all shipped separately. But the 2 that were shipped together, again, were just like glass on glass. There was no bubble wrap, just an empty box, 2 bottles of polish, and one of those big giant air pillows that really isn't gonna do anything. So I was nervous. I waited a while before I ordered these from Amazon because I was hoping to find them from somewhere else because I knew that Amazon's packaging is really terrible as far as polishes go, but I ended up not having a choice. So it worked out. They all came in one piece, but it was a little sketchy. So I'm sure that in the next couple of weeks, if not already, these will be popping up other places so you won't have to rely on Amazon. But for now, that's where I got them. So 6 polishes here all together, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Lighten the Mood, and this is a very, very light nude. So this one is a bit streaky on that first coat. Really though, for being an Essie and for being this light of a color, it's not terrible. Usually you get a color like this from Essie and it can be either really, really streaky, really hard to work with, or super opaque. This is kind of in between. I would consider this one average. Not terrible, not the best. Good formula on this though, not too thin at all. So I do feel like this one dried down to show the streaks a little bit more. That first coat, once it was fully dry, seemed a little bit streakier than it looked when it was wet. I think that's pretty normal. I think some people could probably be okay with this in 2. I just feel like I have a couple of dark spots that I want to cover, and I am keeping in mind that it's probably going to be a little bit more sheer once it's fully dry. So I'm going to do 3 coats on this one. If I remember correctly from when I did my swatch pictures, this is, I think, the only one in the collection that I needed 3 for. So the 3rd coat on this one, it does easily cover those dark spots that I had. I am being really picky by adding that 3rd coat, and a lot of that might come down to application as well. Sometimes my application is a little crazy, like if you watch my ring finger on the 2nd coat of this polish. And this does dry pretty shiny on its own as well. So that is 3 coats of Lighten the Mood. The next polish is called Less is Aura, and this is kind of a medium tan nude color. So here, on this first coat, this is super opaque. Like really, really opaque on the first coat. It's actually covering completely for me right now. I did do 2 for my swatch pictures, so I'm going to let this dry completely, see if I have any streaks on this one. Formula is really good. I'm trying to remember if I needed 2 coats for the swatch pictures or if I just did it because I tend to add an extra. I feel like if this was a blow me away 1 coater on my pictures, I would have remembered. Okay, yes, I'm looking very, very closely and I do see some minor streaks, so I am going to do a 2nd coat on this one. So this one easily covers up those minor streaks and spots that I had on the first coat. They were actually even harder to pick out once it was completely dry, which is usually the opposite of how that works. I think for a lot of people, though, you could probably get away with 1 coat of this one. And it dries super shiny. So that is 2 coats of Less is Aura. So the next polish is called Let It Glow, and this is the first of the shimmers. This is a pink with a gold shimmer. So this one is a little bit sheer on the first coat, not terrible. It is just a little bit streaky, and I am trying to be really careful with those brush strokes in case they do show after the polish is completely dry. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Most of those brush strokes did go away as the first coat dried, but I had a few like really extreme issues that didn't go away completely. Like I had a fuzzy that I had to pull out of this nail that left some weird marks. That didn't go away, but minor brush strokes did. And that shimmer, which I didn't mention this yet, but that shimmer does stand out really well as well. So that is 2 coats of Let It Glow. The next polish is called Blue-tiful Horizon, and this is a medium blue with a pink shimmer. It's like a pinky orange. It does seem to kind of shift to an almost greenish looking gold shimmer, but that's at very extreme angles, and you're really only going to see it in the bottle. most of what you're going to see on the nail is that kind of orangey gold, or pinky gold rather, shimmer. This covers really well on that first coat. A few light spots, but pretty opaque. Also, even when it's wet, I notice a lot fewer brush strokes through the shimmer than I did with the pink, and a really good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. That shimmer does stand out really nicely. I feel like the polish itself does dry just a little bit dull, but not terrible. So that is 2 coats of a Blue-tiful Horizon. The next polish is called Seeing Stars, and this is a kind of like darker chocolate brown looking polish with a bronze shimmer. So this one is also very opaque on that first coat. Actually, looking at this, I guess it's going to depend on how I apply on the rest of the nails, but this could very easily be a 1-coater for some people. Really good formula on this one. I'm going to pull my hand back here a little bit and see if I need a 2nd coat. I'm being really picky, but I do have a couple of light spots, so I am going to go in with a 2nd coat, but I think depending on your application or just your preference, you probably only need 1. So this one does cover completely in 2, though I am being really picky by even doing a 2nd coat, and that shimmer does stand out very nicely. This one also I feel like dries just a little bit dull, but I mean really you should be using top coat anyway. Also, even when this is wet, there are virtually no brush strokes through that shimmer. So that is 2 coats of Seeing Stars. And the last polish is called Hazy Days, and this is a darker purple cream. So this one is very opaque on that first coat. I have a couple of streaks that I can already see on the one nail, so I am going to end up doing a 2nd. But I do think this is another one that, depending on your application and your preference, you could you could definitely get away with 1. And the formula is very good on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, though my pointer finger was totally opaque on the first coat. This middle finger I did do a much thinner coat because I didn't quite dip the brush far enough into the bottle, and that one was not fully opaque. I think the rest of them were fully opaque too, so really it's just going to depend on how you apply it. Dries pretty shiny on its own. And this looks, it's hard to tell in the viewfinder, it looks like it's almost coming off one of those almost so dark it's almost black colors, but it's not. I think that it's close to the being that dark, but it's not quite there. So that is 2 coats of Hazy Days. So I was really tempted to pick Let It Glow as my favorite just because I really like pink and gold shimmer mixed together, but I'm trying to kind of move away from that because I've picked so many of those as favorites in the last year. So Blue-tiful Horizon is actually going to be my favorite here. I really like that this is a shifty shimmer. It shifts from a very, very warm kind of orangey pink to an almost like gold green color, and I think it looks really good against that blue base. So that one is my favorite. So that is the Essie Desert Mirage collection for sometime randomly in January or February-ish 2018. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.